Hello, we would like to welcome you to the next episode of our podcast, You and I,
Ukrainian New Identity.
This podcast will help you
And us.
to reinvent Ukrainian culture, history and traditions.
And to see the history through the eyes of ordinary Ukrainians.
We will also highlight differences and similarities between British and Ukrainian cultures.
My name is Maria Kush. I'm a Ukrainian refugee from Sumy.
My name is Zhenya, Anna, Lyudmila, Shkil.
No way.
Yes. Yes, that is my name. You didn't know that?
No. Why it's so long?
Well, obviously, I was born in Kiev and I had a normal Ukrainian name, but no one could pronounce it here. So when I moved to the UK and then I got British citizenship and British passport, I still had a name which no one could pronounce, which was Evgenia Slastikova.
Evgenia. Yes.
Yeah, so no one could pronounce it, and everyone tried really hard to say Zhenya, which was a big challenge for them as well. So at some point I just thought I had enough of it, and also I wanted my name to represent actual me. So people say you don't choose your parents, you don't choose your family, at least I could choose my name. So I changed my name. First of all, I went back to my maiden name a few years after the divorce, which is Shkil. And then the first name is Zhenya, but also my middle names are very meaningful to me because many years ago I lost my sister and her name was Anna, and a few years ago I lost my mom to cancer and her name was Lyudmila. So my name is my family. My name is everything that was important to me and still is. Of course, my daughters are the most important to me now, but that's what I am, that's who I am.
Interesting. That's really interesting because actually I was thinking about names and meaning of the names and the differences between English names and Ukrainian names, and I found out that this is actually have a deep meaning. I mean, each single name, it's like you says, it's a history of your blood, history of your family. Let's thinking about it.
Names were never just labels. In traditional cultures, a name was believed to carry power, to shape identity, fate, and protection. Among many Native American tribes, names were not fixed at birth. They could change over time, reflecting actions or character. Names like running deer or sitting bull. A name was something you grew into, not something you were simply given. In Ukrainian Slavic tradition, names were also sacred. Child was named shortly after birth, but in early infancy could be called by deliberately rough or unflattering words meant to protect the child from evil forces. Even today, people jokingly say to a beautiful baby, "Oh, what an ugly one," echoing this ancient ritual. There was also the belief in a hidden name, known only within the family, because knowing a true name meant having power over one's fate. The same fear shaped language itself. The word vedmid, the Ukrainian name for bear, means the one who knows where the honey is. It is a substitute, not the animal's real name, a way of avoiding what should not be called. Before Christianity, Slavic names described qualities and hopes. Dobromir, Zorian, Milovana. Some disappeared, others survived. Myroslav, Sviatoslav, Yaroslav. During the Soviet era, this tradition was interrupted. Religious meaning was stripped away. Names were simplified or reshaped. Angelina often became Alina, shorter, more neutral, easier to fit a secular identity. Entirely new names were created as well, like Vladlen, formed from Vladimir Lenin. Today in Ukraine, the most popular names remain deeply Christian. Maria comes from the Virgin Mary. Mykola honors Saint Nicholas, one of the most beloved saints in Ukrainian culture. And that is why many people change their names in adulthood, to reclaim meaning and redirect their lives. Because as the old saying goes, as you name the ship, so shall it sail.
This is interesting, but actually not always middle names have particular meaning in Britain. Sometimes it's just parents didn't agree on a name, so there were two names to put together. And also I have quite a few friends who actually prefer their middle name, and so I don't even know their first name because everyone calls them by the middle name.
Really? And you says like sometimes some people can say Zhenya, so they say Anna.
Yes, that's right. I have a few friends who struggle so much with Zhenya that I say, okay, call me Anna. but then I forget that they call me Anna. And when they say Anna, I'm looking around and thinking who they are talking about. But then when I go somewhere to get coffee and they say, what's your name? And I'm like, shall I say Zhenya and spell it for them? And then I'm like, just put Anna.
Yeah, that's much more easier for them. It's interesting because, like, my name is Maria, and it's international name. You have it, almost every country have the same, like, Maria.
A very good name, my daughter's name as well.
Yeah, and God, Mother of God, Maria, yes. But when I was a girl, like a small one, and my mom, she called me Masha, which is not sounds similar to Maria. And when someone says, someone Ukrainian called me Masha in front of some my English friends, they just always surprised. Your name is Maria. Why they call you Masha? It's just like, it's the same. How it's possible? I said, okay, my husband's name is Alexander, and I call him Sasha, and it was quite awful situation because once I talked to my hosts in UK first time, and they knows that my husband is Alexander, and I explained some stories about our relationship, and I call him and the story Sasha, and they was just like, okay, maybe this is something interesting from Ukraine, like she has two husbands, so it's so she was quite, she don't understand this. And then I said, like, what's wrong? Why you look so serious? And she says, like, we not get used to know that information that you have, like, different relationship with Alex and someone Sasha. So it's like, no, this is the same person. How it's possible? This is two different names. I said, like, wait, Alexander, Sasha, Shura, Sanyok, Sanya, Sanichka. All of this is name of my husband. And they was like, that's ridiculous. It's all different names. It's all different, like, personality. And that gives me some thoughts, like, why we have such a different way of pronunciation one name.
I guess it's not different ways how we pronounce. It's just if we compare English and Ukrainian language, we can see that in Ukrainian there are many more suffixes and prefixes. So those little parts of the word which give extra information. So we have, I think Ukrainian language has more capacity to create those words which become more meaningful, more loving kind of thing. So
it depends. It depends.
It
Not
depends,
always.
yes. You can use different suffixes. Some will show that you're cross with person, and some will show that you really love this person.
Yeah.
And also you can add the same suffixes to potato or something else to show
like,
that it's your favorite
we
dish.
need to show it. So, for example, you said to potato, картошка, картошечка, картопелька,
Картопелька.
картопля, картопелька. Так само, the same will sounds like Sasha, Sashenka, so it sounds more sweet. But if, for example, that will be some kind of more strict thing where you have to be serious, then probably will be just Alex, Alexander.
Well, actually, in my opinion, when someone calls me by my long first name, that means I've done something really wrong.
Yes, that's true. Same.
Yeah, because when I was a child, my parents called me Zhenya, but when I did something wrong or I was late or something like this, they would be like, Yevgenia! And I was like, oh my God, I need to hide, what have I done? Or maybe I knew what I did, but it was always sort of showing that, okay, you are in trouble, you're in very big trouble now.
Yeah, same. And how awful it is that my, like, full name Maria always for me was something like where I need to, at school wear the suit, or my mom was not really happy about me doing something, so she called me about like full name Maria. So I feel like, oh no. And now everyone called me Maria, and I always kind of not really happy. I don't know how to explain, because I have this biography of my name where Maria sounds for me that it's super serious.
Very official.
Yeah, official,
so you have to be dressed smartly and act the part and so on.
And during the, like, when I was a teenager or when I was a kid, I always have this, time where summer camp was part of my life, and I always introduce myself as a Marichka or Mariana. So I have also not one name, not two. Maria, Masha, Marusia, Marichka, Mariana. So a lot of names.
Zhenya, Zhesia, Zhenyusia, and so on. Yeah, you can endlessly add suffixes. But what I don't know about you is what your patronymic name is.
Yes, this is like if, for example, I would work at school in Ukraine, everybody at school will call me Maria Viktorovna because my father is Victor. So every time in Ukraine, when you want to politely ask someone about something, you will also say not only name, but also name of the father.
Yeah, so something that, okay, we can call patronymic name because it's kind of middle name, but it's not middle
It's
name
not, yeah.
because, and I always felt it was a bit unfair, being a mother. I thought, okay, the surname comes from the father, the patronymic name comes from the father, and
Where's my
basically
mom?
means,
Yeah.
the son or a daughter of, in your case, Victor, in my case, Alexander. Yeah, mom gives birth, mom spends 9 months, basically.
Unfair.
Yeah, expecting the baby with everything that comes with it, and we have nothing really sort of officially in common with the child
We need
apart
to
from the
change
name. Yeah, that should be changed definitely.
Yeah, so in Ukrainian, probably like if my full name will be Kush, my surname, Maria Viktorovna. So, and I was surprised because I never pay attention that actually in UK people don't have this tradition to have patronymic names. So I never give this information to anyone. So it's interesting that in Ukraine it's officially, so you have to have name, patronymic name, and surname.
So you have a very interesting surname. What does it mean? Kush.
Yeah, Kush. This is like super Ukrainian surname because it translated like a bush.
Okay.
But
Like this one.
Yeah. Oh, this one. But I always was curious about like etymology, and I tried to find the roots where it come from, and I found out that actually that was the Polish surname for the szlachta. So that's kind of
The nobility.
no, yes, and then it becomes Cossack surname, and then it becomes from Russian Empire officer, and they have like a huge story of the surname, and that's really interesting because that's surname of my husband. But my Ukrainian, like how it's called from my family,
Maiden name.
is Filipenko, and it sounds really Ukrainian, but my father was from Kamchatka. So it's part of the Russia. And I was always curious why I have this Ukrainian surname. And guess what? I found out that my family, which is always thinking that they are Russians, actually was sent to Siberia and have this Filipenko Ukrainian surname. Why I'm saying Ukrainian? Because Ukrainian surname usually have this ending of ko, like Petrenko from the book, yeah? Filipenko, and then Shevchenko, and that's how I find out actually all my family are Ukrainian. Just because I found out that the history of the surname, the ending of the surname is Ukrainian, and I can't make this track how it's happened that it comes to the Kamchatka.
Well, your maiden name is a very typical example where surnames came from, because it obviously comes from Philippe. Philippe is a name of a man, so it must have been a family of Philippe, who was probably a father or grandfather of the family. But interestingly enough, surnames in Ukraine started appearing in 14th and 15th centuries, but there is more interesting information. Shall we listen to it?
Yep.
Ukrainian surnames appeared much earlier than many people realize. As early as the 10th, 11th centuries, during the time of Kiev and Rus, names were already used to show family connection and origin, especially among the nobility and local leaders. At almost the same time in medieval England, additional names were also starting to appear. They helped distinguish people with the same first name and often showed family lineage, occupation, or place of origin. By the 14th, 15th centuries, Ukrainian surnames began spreading beyond the elite. Endings like enko, uk, chuk, and ko clearly meant son of or descendant of. A name was no longer just personal, it became hereditary. In England, this process followed a similar path. Surnames like Johnson or Williamson meant exactly the same thing, son of John or son of William. Between the 16th and 17th centuries, Ukrainian surnames became more fixed. Many were formed from professions. Honchar meant a potter, just like the English surname Potter. Koval meant a blacksmith, just like Smith. Even names based on nature align. The Ukrainian Kusht literally means bush. In England, occupational and descriptive surnames were also becoming standard during this period, as society became more structured and records more common. By the 17th, 19th centuries, surnames in Ukraine were firmly established for most of the population, shaped by social change, urban life, and the rise of the Cossacks. In England, surnames had become fully hereditary by roughly the same time. And there is even a linguistic parallel. In English, the word surname comes from the French surnom, meaning an additional name. In Ukrainian, przyzwisze literally means a name added to you, przyzwisze. Different languages, different histories, but the same idea. In both Ukraine and England, surnames were created to answer one simple question: who are you, and who do you belong to?
So, we've heard what happened in Ukraine in 14th, 15th, 17th centuries and so on, and we know where Ukrainian surnames come from. It would be interesting to find out what happened in Britain. I'm pretty sure that there are quite a few parallels. I know from the top of my head that there are quite a lot of surnames which actually came from a name of a man. For example, Jackson is the son of Jack, yeah? Or, for example, Tailor comes from the profession. Tailors obviously made clothes. So that's two of the parallels that I've noticed so far. But it would be interesting to talk to our British friends and find out what their surnames mean.
My official name is Anne Mary Hamilton Pike, but I'm always called Annie Hamilton Pike. I don't know what patronymic means, but in England, our patronymic names, if I've got the meaning, in England is the surname, the last name. Bazard, it derives from France. It is thought that the Bazards came over with the Huguenots when the French drove out a lot of English people.
My name is Catherine. Anderson is my surname, and my friends call me Catherine. They don't tend to shorten my name, but my twin sister calls me Katrina. So my last name is Anderson, which is a Scottish name, and both my parents, in fact, are Scottish. They come from Fife in Scotland, which is quite near Edinburgh. And so, yeah, Anderson is what we call a clan name. So back in the olden days, there was a clan, an Anderson clan, and the Anderson clan have their own tartan. So you see kilts and bags and blankets made out of Anderson tartan, which is blues and reds.
My name is Evan, and my friends and family call me Evan. Patronymic, same in Scandinavian. They do the same. If you're Eric, you would be Sigurd Eriksson or whatever. Yes, my last name is in two parts, Hamilton and Pike. And Hamilton is a Scottish clan from around the Isle of Arran and the west of Scotland. And Pike is a long pole used in with a spike on the end, used in wars in ancient history. So you're a pikeman, you would be holding a very long stick and stabbing horses when they were running at you. And it's also a fish, but that's not the reason for the name.
Okay, so I think we managed to dive deep into this topic. So we know quite a lot about first names and diminutive factor, especially in Ukrainian language and Russian language, how we address each other in a loving way or in a cross way. We know what middle names, or in our case, patronymic names are, and we've listened and found out quite a lot of information about surnames. But what if we don't know a name of a person? How would we address them? For example, when you go to the shop in this country, how do people address you? How do they attract your attention? What did you notice so far?
Usually they say like lady.
Oh, lovely and nice.
Yeah. Or maybe if I went to school with my son, they always says like Mrs. Kush, something like this. Yeah. And what about you?
Well, when I worked at school, my students either called me by first name and patronymic name, because I was teaching languages and it was part of Russian and Ukrainian tradition, of course. But everyone else and other students would call me Miss or Miss S, because either Shkil or Slastikova, whichever name or surname I had at the time was too long. So they decided to shorten me. And it's like Miss
no.
S. Miss S. Yeah. So I guess, mostly Miss, lady occasionally. I have a friend who calls me, what was it? Not body.
Mate,
yeah. Thank you, mate. Yeah, it was yesterday. He's like, oh, I made a funny joke. And he was, okay, thank you, mate. And I'm like, am I mate? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Love?
Love, this is so sweet. Some ladies, like particular older ladies, they're just like, thank you, love. Oh, I was like, I don't know, it sounds so nice for me.
Lovely.
Yeah, I love it actually. I like it.
I think for me, it did make me really cross when I moved to the UK because I felt it was a bit too familiar to address me as love or lovely. You don't know me. How dare you? So I remember going to the shop and, there would be local volunteers. And I guess when it came from elderly women or elderly men, it was easier for me to accept because it's sort of loving way of addressing someone. But then when it came from someone my age or a man, I thought, really? Do you know me to call me love? I think now I'm so used to it that I don't really pay attention. It's just like saying, I don't know, flower. Yes, please call me flower.
I don't know, actually, what used to have in Ukraine when you don't know someone?
Shanovna.
No, Shanovna, it means you never, it's like translated, it's like exactly the same thing, like with all respect. It means there is no respect, zero.
No, but when you send an official letter, you would say Shanovny Pana, like dear sir or dear lady.
I don't know,
madam.
I try to remind myself. I can't find it. I think it was something like Любі друзі.
Okay, любі друзі. Okay, dear friends, that I think works. But if you're on a bus in a marshrutka, okay, that's a different story. And transport is a different topic which we definitely need to cover. And you imagine you are standing, holding, everyone is pushing you, and you need to pass the money to the driver to pay for the ticket. How would you? So here you would say, okay, you would never be in that situation. But if you did get in that situation, you would say, sir.
Yeah.
Or madam.
Madam, yeah.
So I guess...
Жіночко.
Dear woman.
Yeah, something like that.
I had a friend who called me woman, and that made me really cross because I thought it was just a very strange way of saying, addressing a friend.
Your place at the kitchen. It sounds like really rude for me, woman. It's not sounds nice, I would say. I don't know, what else? Probably we will say just вибачте, sorry. You will never... I don't remember the...
Excuse me, you would say, because sorry. And that's an extra interesting thing to mention because I think some people who come to the UK do get confused with sorry and excuse me.
Yeah, it's me. I'm confused. What is the difference?
Okay, so the difference is sorry you use when you made a mistake.
Yeah.
So you stepped on someone's foot, you say sorry. If you want people to let you go, that's why you say excuse me. Excuse me, yes, I'm moving. Please get out of my way. Excuse me. Can I get there past you and so on? So excuse me means you haven't made a mistake. You haven't done anything wrong. You just need someone to get out of your way, maybe.
Okay, good. So
you would say excuse me. I guess, excuse me.
Yeah, and...
Can you take 10 гривnas and pay for my ticket and give me the change back?
In Sumo we just say, like, передайте за проезд. We never say thank you, sorry, or just like передайте. Even sometimes they just like knock into the shoulder and without any words, and you have to turn the head and ask 1, 2, how many? I'm so kind of frustrated right now because I remember quite rude. Even now, I start to realize that Sumo is quite tough place to live.
Okay, what about pani? I quite like the sound
pani,
of it.
Yes,
it's like
it's
miss.
Lady, miss.
Miss,
yeah.
Pani, pane,
panove. Yes.
Panove.
I just found out that at the Pirate of the Caribbean, Part 2, there is like an interesting fact that Bill Turner and Will Turner, it's like a same person. But when I watch it, I always was confused because Bill and William, it's absolutely different names. But it's the same, as it is.
Well, to be honest, sounds v and b are often interchangeable in many European languages.
That's true. You know why? I've been at the one of the events where the guy creates a flower bed with like a dog shape, and he called it Savaka, and he was so proud and told me that this is the name of the dog in Russian. I said like not Savaka, Sabaka, and he was like it's all the same. I was like how it's possible? So for us, V, B.
Well, in Spanish it sounds the same, v and b. So it's basically the same sound. So it's nothing too unusual or shouldn't be too surprising. But
William, Bill.
yeah, but there are also, ways how we translate names. When I was at school in Ukraine, I was 6 years old. It happened, you may not believe it, but it happened once. They said that my name, Zhenya, translates into English as Jane.
Jane.
Jane. So
Jane
I
Austen,
lived...
Zhenya Austen.
Yeah, I lived most of my life, okay, maybe not most, half of my life, believing that I'm Jane Schkiel. But then when I came here and I tried to introduce myself as Jane, they said, well, you don't translate your name, do you? And I thought, well, probably I don't.
I like to translate names. Imagine
Okay, let's
Michael
go for-
Jackson,
okay.
Misha Jackson,
Yeah, how will you translate Ivan into English?
James.
John.
Oh, John. Sorry.
Okay, if you have a friend whose name is James, James is quite official, it's like Maria,
Yeah.
and you want to address him affectionately,
Yeah.
how will you do it?
I don't know.
Jimmy.
James.
Jimmy.
That's the name of my boss here, James. Jimmy.
Jimmy, yeah.
Interesting.
So, I think there are probably more similarities between British and Ukrainian language than we know of, because even British names, they do have diminutives. For example, Chris, Chrissy, they're usually shorter than the full name. So, for example, if you take my older daughter's name, she's Anastasia, and you know that Anastasia in our tradition
Anastasia.
would be Nastya.
Nice.
But because Nastya sounds very much like, nasty, and she wasn't a nasty child, so no one wanted to call her Nastya, so she was always Anastasia, and everyone loved the name, and it's, princess, and so on and so forth. But then those people who call her affectionately may call her either Anna, because
Oh.
Anastasia, or Stacy.
Okay.
So it's actually shorter rather than making how we would make Nastyulichka, Nastyulinka, and so
Nastynka.
on, Nastynka.
Nastyusha.
That would be, shortening it. And sometimes they add S or Y at the end.
Okay. I really like the idea to translate names.
Okay, let's translate your son's name.
Oh, okay. My son's name is Sever or Severin.
So are we talking about north or south?
No, yes, exactly. The Sever is translated to north, if it will be in English. So he's always have this effect. Comes to English class and says, "My name is Sever," and no one realized that it's not. So he actually is translated like a north. So you can call me North, but nobody call him North. But yeah, that's true. In Ukrainian, Sever it's North. And what name we can translate? Julia. Julie.
Yeah, so Julia would be the full name, or the kind of longer official version, and shorter Julie would be affectionate.
Yeah. Then Lena, it's
Helen. Yeah,
Elena,
Helen. Helen.
Elena. I like to translate name of the superstars from the movies.
Go on.
George Michael.
Yeah.
Georgi.
It's
My
blank.
favorite. Angelina Jolie. Angelchka.
Catherine, Katarina,
Катерина.
Katya,
Катя.
Joanna, Ivanka.
О, це мені подобається. Leonardo. It means Левко.
Левко,
Да.
Львів, Левко, Генрі.
Геннадій. Геннадій, да?
Ні, Генрі. Гена. Ну да, Геннадій.
Гена!
Геннадій.
Зіна!
Zina. I had a friend whose daughter's name was, they called her Zina, but what was her name in actually Russian name? Ksenia.
Ксения.
Ksenia is
Зина,
Zina.
Ксения. Окей.
Because X, if you have X at the beginning of the word, it's pronounced as Z. So that's why it's Zina, because, letter X.
Yeah.
So Ksenia Zina.
Наталі. Наташа.
Yeah.
Лілі.
Лилия.
Лидия.
Лилия.
Лилия. Sophie. Sophie will translate it to Ukrainian.
Sophia.
Sophia.
How would you translate the name Vasil?
My grandfather name is Vasil Vasilovich, so he would be Basil Basilovich.
My favorite herb. Sorry.
Yes, mine too. Oh, have I really like basil.
Oh yes, my cat. I forgot completely. Nicholas. Yeah, Nicky.
Nikolai, Mykola.
But Mykola, there is Michael as well.
Michael.
Michael is Mikhailo.
Michael is Mikhailo.
Michael is Mikhailo, and Nicholas is Mykola.
What about name Bogdan?
I think it's something sounding like Theodore, maybe?
Vladislav, Walter. Stephen, it's Stepan.
No, it can't be.
Yeah.
All right, okay. I've got a friend, and his name is Paul, so I'm going to call him Pavlo from now on.
Nice.
It's like, hello, Pavlo, buddy. Mate, yeah. Well, I actually have a friend whose son is Denis. But because I had at the same time a student whose name was Dennis, I was incapable to actually say Denise. It was always Dennis, because the stress for me in my head is on the first syllable now, Dennis. Yeah.
Dennis.
So there is a very beautiful name, which I really like in Ukrainian. It's like Zoriana.
Oh,
it's
nice.
like Zoria is a star, so a star girl. What can it be in English?
Stacy?
Stella.
Stella!
Yeah,
oh,
Stella.
Nice.
And so I think the time is running out, and Maria Viktorovna Kush.
Женя, Anna, Людмила, Шкиль.
I suggest we invite our audience to write their names in the comments, and we will
Yes.
do our very best to translate British names into Ukrainian and Ukrainian names into British. If you write your British names, please make sure to mention the name of your father so we can turn it into a patronymic name for you.
Oh, nice. That will be great. Thank you for watching. If you like our podcast, please like, share, comment, and support our channel by donation. All the links below.
And don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.
Bye.